It's your girl
Black
Diamond.
Diamond.
Black Diamond.
Definitely, that's not going to be able to be his defense because he's black. It's not going to work like that for him. They're going to circumvent that law and change that around. He still will get the max, whether it's manslaughter or not. Of course, he defended himself, but that's not how it
He
works in
can't do that.
America.
It's Kyle Rittenhouse got away with it. He can't. They can't do
Don't do
that.
it. But I agree with Price on
Yeah,
that. That's why they put the picture out of him. The original first picture that they put out of him. You see how they put that out, and then the picture they put out of the young man.
right. This man
They
got a
already painted the
3.7 grade
narrative.
point
Right.
average.
They didn't put
He
him
didn't
in
did
his
all good kind
graduation
of stuff
cast.
in
They
the
didn't do none of that.
community. They say
Yeah.
he done saved a little girl before from drowning. He got some good accolades under his belt at 17. I'm talking about Carmelo. But the fact that he stabbed this young white male and they're going to flip this around like America does. This is not going to turn out the way you guys are thinking. And it's going to create that.
Look at what
The
happened
bigger problem will that.
too.
Hold on, Rashi. Rashi, don't just cut into my sentence. I'll land, Rashi. You know I don't do you like that. All I'm saying is, I know we hoping and cheering that he gets off and all this, but the rude awakening that we're going to see is not going to happen that way, guys. It's not going to happen that way. Ain't going to be no reduction in sentencing. They might reduce the bail a little bit to let him on the streets because it became a national case. But sentence wise, no, it's not going to happen.
Charles,
Go
come
ahead,
get your
Rashi.
box, Charles.
Did
Come
you
get
see
your
that
box.
too, Dad?
Yeah, I seen it, Charles. Come get your box.
What?
Charles said
So
this is
Charles
not a
don't think
Sandra
that
Brown case.
Carmelo was.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Let Charles come. Let Charles. You can come in the box and voice your opinion, honey.
Charles, your box is ready.
What did Charles say? I
Watching
didn't see
Austin
it.
Charles
News.
said, unfortunately, it's not self-defense, but he's entitled to his opinion. Like Diamond said, let him come voice his
He
opinion.
is, and we entitled to respond. Thank you so much for being a
Right, but
spokesperson. He's a
okay,
grown
but
man.
give him a chance, though.
The
He has a
news.
right to say what he's saying.
His opinion, guys. He said he was watching the Austin News. He didn't say it was his opinion. Let's get it straight. We also need to look at what led up to this. This boy has no record. Ain't no way my son has no record. He might have got, bullied at school. And like you said, the kids carry a pocket knife. And ain't no way my son bail going to be $1 million. Ain't no way if he has no record and he had 3.7. Ain't no way. I would be going to the news. I would be lobbying for a paid attorney to take this pro bono, which would help their career, first of all. Okay? There's no way that he should not get off.
Rashi, do you realize the American? See, that's that other half of you speaking, but you're speaking from the other half on the other half. You see?
Hold on,
that
y'all let
was
Charles.
hip-hop.
Y'all let Charles talk. Let Charles talk. Rashi went. We don't worry about Rashi. Let y'all go ahead, Charles.
We ain't
Good
worry
morning.
about you.
Good morning, Diamond, and good morning, everybody. How's everybody this morning? I went to make sure I went and watched the local news coverage of what happened. And I don't know what happened previously. I don't know what happened, any of that stuff. All I know is what the story was from the local news and what was said by law enforcement and stuff like that. The unfortunate part of this situation is he was in a sports tent that was directly designed for the sports teams themselves. When this
Charles,
young
could you
man-
speak up a little bit? Could you speak
Sorry.
up a little bit?
Yeah,
You're kinda
can you hear
low.
me better now?
Yeah,
Can
a
you-
little
I
bit
can hear you
better.
fine. It's better.
Okay. So what happened in this situation, according to what the news report said, was that this young man was in the sports tent where unless you're part of a team, you're not supposed to be in the sports tent. When he was addressed by the other young man, he needed to leave. Then he pulled that knife out and said, "If you touch me, I'm going to stick you with this." Then he reached out to touch him to remove him from the sports tent where he was not supposed to be, and he stuck him in the chest and took off. When the police department picked him up, he then confessed it to the police officer directly when he was picked up that he had done this, and of course asked if he was okay. So the compassion is there and things like that, but unfortunately this is not going to be a self-defense situation, because it wasn't a situation where he was being attacked in any way. He was trying to remove him from a situation where he shouldn't have been. Now, the kid who reached out to touch the kid should not have done that. He should have gone and got a teacher or something like that, right? Because this situation could have gone very differently if a teacher or a parent had addressed the child, or the young man, right? But in this situation, that's not going to, unfortunately, according to what I've heard on what the local news and everything, that's not going to end up being a local self-defense situation.
Now, hold on.
Charles, do you know that story is different than his brother's story?
Right.
Go ahead.
You told a whole nother story, and you told it the white people way. I'm gonna put it as what it is. You told hold on.
Okay?
You told it with straight man. You told it with straight mayonnaise on it. And the reason you did that is to make it so it's not self-defense. It was raining. They were not even using the tent. The tent was there. If you go look at the images, the tent is near the bleachers. So if he was sitting on the bleachers and it started to rain and he slid up under the tent, and they were not even there, because they was out there probably warming up on the field, doing whatever the case may be. He was up under the tent. They went towards him and told him he needed to move. Nobody was occupying the tent. See, that's what you not mentioning and saying. You gave it the Mayo way, so it'll look like, oh, it's not self-defense. Now, if I'm sitting up under the tent, just sheltering myself from the rain, common courtesy as a person would say, well, it's raining. We ain't up under here going over plays. They were at a track and field meet. Track and field. It wasn't football.
Can I jump in too, Corey?
Hold on. No, because I need Charles to understand. The Mayo way don't make Charles with that bullshit up here right now.
You sound like you're mad at me for
because
I know
you gave it the YT people. You don't get no shut up, Rashi. You don't get no goddamn details of how this shit happened. He told that boy, this ain't y'all tent. You need to move.
Probably no more than you.
Shut the fuck up, Rashi. He told that boy to sit to move. That boy told him no. Lay down. It was sitting there raining. He put his hands on that boy. His brother admitted to him putting his hands on him. He say, touch me again.
Rashi, let Corey finish. Rashi, why are you doing that?
Touch me again. I'm going to stick your ass.
Let the boy finish, Rashi.
Okay, so what I was going to ask
Corey, and play with that bullshit, John. No, it didn't happen the way these news don't know the whole goddamn story. But y'all want to sit here and make this shit up like, oh, so it don't be self-defense. Y'all call self-defense anytime a white man unalive a black person. It's always self-defense. Y'all did that bullshit. Even though George Zimmerman was getting his ass beat in that alley, he shouldn't have took his ass down that goddamn alley. Y'all holler self-defense in that. Y'all holler self-defense in written cows or whatever the fuck his name. Y'all always holler self-defense. But when it's a black man, oh, it ain't self-defense. It ain't stand your ground. Y'all always get the white man way. And y'all be telling these bullshit ass stories. That's why I don't fuck with y'all and y'all not our allies. Because it's always that. He was sitting there sheltering himself from the rain. A common, caring, courteous person would say, well, it's raining out here. He's sitting here. We ain't doing that. We all can sit here. Where's the kumbaya? You want to kumbaya in these situations. But when he's sitting there out of the rain, it ain't kumbaya no more. Oh, it's we against you on the other team now. What the fuck? He was sitting there out of the rain. It was no reason to even fuck with the boy. Come on, man. Make sense.
I don't even like Corey like that, but Corey right.
Yeah, Corey eating. Corey eating. I just want to say the one thing, Charles. The one thing you said that it was for the team. I heard you. You said it was the tent was for the team. But I'm just gonna say something. The tent was for the team and the people that were. Who's?
You got an echo. You got to mute, V.
So obviously,
okay. So the tent was for the team and the people who were participating. The twins weren't even participating. So based on your story and what the news said, that you weren't supposed to be there either. So who gave them authority to kick somebody out when they weren't supposed to be there either? Because they weren't participating. Last thing I heard, Karmelo was actually the one that was running. It just wasn't his team's tent.
Well, again, what I was saying also is in that situation, that should have never happened in the first place. That young man should have never reached out and touched that young man. If he had that problem where he saw him in that tent and he wasn't supposed to be there because they had their personal stuff in there, then he should have gone and got a teacher or a parent and let them address the situation, and they could have dealt with it a totally different way. He should have never tried to put his hands on him. That's what I did say, Corey. So you're getting mad at me for something that you didn't listen when I
So
said.
Charles, when you were listening to the news, did you not hear Hunter say that his brother put his hands on him? Because that was also said by Hunter. So yeah, so that is self-defense. So if he put his hands on him, that's what I'm saying, Charles. You said self-defense doesn't apply. Stand your ground does not apply here. Stand your ground, it has to be self-defense. Go ahead.
Well, Queen, what he said, Charles said that the news said that he pulled it out and told him, if you touch me. So that's why Charles is trying to say that it's not considered self-defense. But then again, for me, if a motherfucker tell me, pull something out and tell me to touch me, I'm not going to touch you. So again, that doesn't make sense.
Stand your ground doesn't have anything to do with you announcing your thing. If somebody comes on your property and they are like literally, if you walk up to my house and you're on my yard, and I come outside with my desert eagle, my beautiful baby, and I tell you to move if I am, because I'm not in one of them states, so I ain't got that power. I gotta admit that you gotta try to hurt me. But if I pull it out, if I'm in Texas and I pull that thing out and you on my property and I say you need to leave or I'm gonna use this and you don't, then yeah, it doesn't matter if I tell you about it, but that's added information, and there's things added. He's never said that I was going to poke you. He never said I was going to poke you.
On a black person, you going to get off. If you pull that motherfucker out on a YT person, it ain't going to happen, though.
Y'all,
that's the difference.
Cash App message says, hell has frozen over. I agree with Kari. Okay, go ahead, Boyka. I'm not going to sit here and go back and forth with you. You know damn well you ain't talked to a lawyer in Texas.
So on
that goes to show you how motherfuckers don't like the messenger and they love the message. Everybody, I don't agree with Corey, but he right today, man. Fuck all that. We ain't worried about the messenger. If the message is correct, the message is correct. All that I don't like a person, but I agree today. That's bullshit, man.
We doing good, Pots. We
doing the right thing, Pots. Because some people will hear the message.
If he's right, he's right.
Right.
If they like him or not. That's what they're saying.
That's not the point. That's the point.
At the end of the day, self-defense will not be used in this. Now, if he would have did this to another black person, he might can get self-defense. But he did this to a white person in a McKinney type of Texas where they don't play that. He's not getting off on self-defense, guys. Now, lower the manslaughter and do 6 or 7 years probation or something. Yes, it might get that. But getting off on self-defense, a black teenager killed a white teenager. Come on, man. Are y'all unalived a white teenager? It's not going to happen, guys.
Pots, one thing I always tell you is that I love you have the mindset that I do at times of believing in reality. That's totally fine. We know how the system is. But why can't black people just be fulfilled? Why you want to take that away from us? Why we can't just hope that maybe once and for all, the system does do it?
Because it's like Dr. John Henry Clark say, Alex, you're trying to appeal to the person that put you in this position to save you. It's not going to work, baby.
Cash App message says, Coach said Karmelo can sit under the tent.
He's not.
That's what I said.
There it goes.
Yeah, but it wasn't the coach of that tent, Diamond. It was the coach of his own tent saying go sit under there.
Hold on. Pots. The tent only cover a space. Hold on. The tent only cover a space. They don't own the space. It's just shelter. The tent was brought there and placed there. And
yes, Corey, I know that,
hold on. If you go look at the images, the tent is near the bleachers. So it's covering spaces of the bleacher. If I go sit my ass on the bleacher up under the tent, they don't own the bleachers. If they had a problem with the tent, move the motherfucking tent. Don't come and try to move me as a person. That's the problem I have with this. You tried to move me as a person. Move your motherfucking tent if you had a problem with it. They tried to move him as
they think they have control over us at all levels, though, bro.
That's the problem.
That's the problem, exactly. That's the problem.
What I said was he should have never tried to put his hands on that young man. He should have gone and got a teacher.
That's the mayonnaise way.
That's
he was
what
wrong
he should
for
have
doing
done.
this. That was bullshit, Charles.
It's true. He should have never put his hands on him in the first place.
He shouldn't even have that thought in his mind if you're a kind and courteous person. You
I've
should not
heard
have
that
that thought.
too.
But
But again,
that just shows you if it was a white student,
okay,
sitting up under that
I'm
tent,
not going to
would he
win this
have
fight,
done that?
obviously, because you're not going to
This is
listen.
this is a thing of race, Charles. You gotta admit that it's a level of racism here. And if you
I
sit up here
will
with the
admit that
BS,
100%. But I'm
no,
saying
you
it's at
not.
the end of the day. I said I will admit that 100%. But again, what I also was saying is the young man should have never tried to put his hands on it. I said that from the very beginning. He should have never done that. He should have gone to a
Right,
He
but
didn't
team.
try.
Charles,
He
you're
did. He
speaking
didn't
about
try. He did
bullies.
put his hands on him. He
Bullies do
did put his
whatever they
hands
He
on
want
should
to
have
him.
never
do.
done that. I said
Bullies
that
do
from the
whatever they
beginning.
want to do. So
But
you
you're
got to
yelling at me like
realize
I'm
that.
freaking,
Like Mike Tyson said, everybody's tough till they get punched in the mouth. Everybody's tough till they meet their match. So he said, "Don't
Charles,
touch me." He touched him again.
didn't
We
change my
have a
story. I said
horrific
that from the very
incident
beginning.
after that.
He should have never
Okay, so
Both
put
of
his
my
hands
these
on
only
that young
families
argument,
have
man.
been
my
disturbed
only
for the
my
rest of
only
their lives.
disagreement. So my only disagreement with your story, Charles, is like Queen said, that's not the story that the brother told. So if the brother who was
I
right there
understand that.
didn't
What
tell
I
that
was saying is
story,
only what
hold
this
on,
news said.
Charles. If the brother who was right there when the incident happened didn't tell that story, what the news is telling you, it's a lie. And that we gotta stand on that. That's a lie. The brother didn't even tell that story. And the brother didn't say nothing about him pulling it out first and then saying, "Don't touch me." So where did that come from?
so
Everybody,
I also
whenever
have a
it comes,
question for you, Charles. I have a question for you. How do you feel
What
about
happened?
Kyle
Nobody.
Rittenhouse, Curtis Reeves, Daniel Penny, George Zimmerman? All of these cases are situations where self-defense was claimed. George Zimmerman, Trayvon was not doing anything but walking and was aggressed upon. Kyle Rittenhouse, I won't even say for the individual that tried to take the pew-pew away from Kyle. I'm talking about the first one, Josh, who threw a plastic bag at him and tried to run Kyle off, and Kyle pew-pewed him 4 times. Or Mr. Olson, where he threw popcorn at Mr. Curtis, and Mr. Curtis pulled out a 380 and hit Mr. Olson, unaliving him. I'm asking about these situations where self-defense was met, where these guys were aggressing upon Karmelo in a tent where he had been told that he could go, and have had previous interactions, some not so good, some favorable, and this boy reacted into because I'm gonna call him a young boy, because they're gonna tell him a young man, they're gonna try to adultify him. He's a child. Where this child literally defended himself because he felt like he could have been in danger. Where he defended himself and did not intend to unalive somebody, but that just happened to be the narrative. But with those other cases, how do you feel about them?
I did one. Most of the other ones I cannot address because I don't know the facts about those cases. The one
Charles,
where
get
the
for real
man
here.
was in
It's been some
the young
time.
man. Hold on, can I finish what I was saying? The one where the young man was the George Zimmerman case. That situation was very wrong, because from what I understand, the was it George Zimmerman who was the one who unalived the young man?
children, when it
He had
comes
been.
to black people, everybody turns to CSI. Everybody turns into an attorney. Everybody starts to do the research when they ain't picked up books in 5 years. But when it comes to y'all stories, now you have to go do the research. Now, Charles, I say this out of
I
love.
just watched
This
the
is what,
news story the other day. I did.
hold
Yeah.
on. I say this out of love. This is why Corey came for you the way he did, right? It's because everybody has y'all done took the bar exam and everything when it comes to black children and black people. But now you have to go do your research for these other cases where white people got off for unaliving other people.
I was saying that I went to watch the story this morning because it was a topic this morning. That's why I went and did that.
We're talking
I
about the
understand. I'm
other.
just telling you how it
It's
looked.
national
Just telling
news,
you how it
bro.
looked.
What you mean? This
Just
is
telling you how it
national
looked.
news. This is national news. You had to go look at it, so they ain't playing across your TV station every time.
No, it's
They
not
ain't playing
playing
Just
across
across
your
my
telling
TV
TV
news.
Charles,
This
station.
is
Charles, I'm just
national.
telling you, I'm not
Remember,
jumping
I
down
don't
on you.
watch the
I'm just
local
telling you
news.
how it looked. That's all I'm doing is telling you how it looked. That's it.
And I will appreciate where you're coming from, and I will take that into consideration as a learning situation.
So Charles, I have to ask you this question. Hold on, yeah, I have to ask this question. Do you think, because a lot of people keep talking about we're playing the race card or we're using the race card, in this situation, the way it played out after it was done, do you not think the race card was played in this situation?
What do you mean by playing the race card? Explain what that means.
After the incident was done, we're going to take away from the incident the way they portrayed that young man without even knowing the facts, right? They didn't know what was going on when it happened, but they put his picture up on the TV the way they put it up there. The way that they did not talk about what he has done, what type of background he came from, what his grades was, none of the things, nothing good about him. They painted him in the light, like she said, as a grown, aggressive, dangerous person. Do you not think that plays a part in the race card?
I believe it does play a very large part.
Hold on, Charles, and his bail is $1 million, and he doesn't have any priors. Do you not think that race has to play in that?
Bail for a manslaughter charge? That's ridiculous.
But you're not because it's not manslaughter. It's first degree. They are hitting him with first degree. So do you think the race card has a part in this?
I think it does have a part in this, very much so. Absolutely. In that situation, again, I only saw the news stated what the news said. And if those are the situations, then I believe that I agree with you 100% that would definitely be a.
Can I speak? Can I speak, please? Golly. Can I speak?
I just want a moment. I just want a moment. Just
get your moment, baby.
I was just saying that, Charles. I feel like you're being like oblivious right now because I feel like you. I know in the past when Waco, whatever that guy name was up here, you're saying that we were your friends and all that. But I just feel like you're not. I don't know what the word is, but I feel like you're not doing enough, but not knowing enough. I feel like a lot of things here, like in this situation right now, where you're coming in saying what the news said, but it's like what we're telling you is different. What the young man said, the other dude, the twin said was different, and trying to justify of why it's not manslaughter. And then when Queen came up here, when Queen gave those other examples, now all of a sudden you have no idea. You have to have to go do research. Those have been out. Those have been national news. That has been out for years. And I feel like you're playing this card where you want to be accepted by us, but you don't know nothing about us or what's happening in the community.
Cash App message says, Diamond, they finna run Charles off too.
Oh, Charles will be fine. Be for real.
Charles made the statement that it wasn't self-defense, but Nate gave no excuse.
No,
hold on. You said it was not self-defense. This is not a self-defense case, but you gave no reasons why it's not self-defense.
I gave no reason why they're not going to be able to use the self-defense.
Hold on.
What's the reason?
Y'all got to understand, I have multiple pages. Okay, I have multiple pages. So that is why, we on Black Diamond 6. A lot of y'all don't. We're on Black Diamond 6, y'all. Follow this page, y'all. This is my backup page that I barely use. Okay.
So the reason why, according to the news, remember why all I saw was the news station. The only reason why they're not gonna, they won't let him use self-defense is because according to what they said on the news. Now I heard.
Texas is
hold on.
You don't have to conceal
Let me finish what I'm saying.
Texas, you can
hold on, please.
Air.
Hold on, please. Let me finish what I'm saying, please. What I was saying is according to what I saw on the news story. Okay. Because of the fact that what they said on the news that he had pulled that out originally and addressed it, that he said that. Now I heard that you said there's another story involved. So again, I will do more research, but I only wanted to hear what the story was itself, so I could even hear what was going on.
Can I please speak?
That news station is they're not going to let him use that because of that situation. They pulled the weapon out first.
Let me share something with you, my white brother. You don't need to go do no damn investigation and studying on shit. You got it all. And since Emmett Till and before Emmett Till, the laws were written for you all. They weren't written for us. They were written for you. And you know that. I don't give a damn if you know every case or not. I love you, bruh. Sometimes you need to sit your ass in the downstairs, because that's what made me hit the doggone request when I heard you say that. I'm dealing with this same situation right now with my grandson, who was just hit 2 weeks ago. I'm waiting on the staff to call me back. They ain't calling back. And the same people who are reporting the news, they're racist. just like the same people who wrote the laws. You don't need to go investigate shit. What you need to do, brother, is the next time that you're flirting and talking about how you've dated black women, you need to think about their little black boys. This is one of the reasons that I prided in having only 4 daughters and not a son living in the South. And what gets me is this. You act like you don't know what a race card is. The race card is when things are said and done, and the white man can always get an out. But the black man is always guilty. And you, Potts, you need to go downstairs with him because you don't have a law degree. And we're just hoping. We're hoping. Don't bust our hope bubbles.
I ain't busting no goddamn hope.
Let me talk.
Man, wait a minute, because you don't address me. I ain't talking. Like I said, ain't no motherfucking way y'all sitting up here thinking this young man finna get self-defense. That's all I'm saying. You can wish upon a star all you want to. I'm wishing on a star. The shit ain't gonna happen. You can't tell me to get down no motherfucking where.
I'm not saying
What's
that
wrong
you're
with you
wrong.
on TV?
What I am saying is sometimes we just...
None of us is a lawyer on TV. We all speculating right now, but I know goddamn well how America works, like you said.
Okay.
It works good for white folks and not good for black folks. And that's what I was saying. The American system is like bleach.
Be quiet and let me talk, Pot.
Don't address me and tell me to step down and shit and then just do your sermon. Don't use your 20 minutes you gonna use. Don't come after Potts.
Let me talk.
I'm keeping it 100.
What I want to say is this right here. Our hope since the early before I was here. I was born in 63. It's always been this way. We know that. But I'm going to say this right here. Going to the teachers, Charles, going to the staff, it don't help. Going to the Board of Education, I'm all on Facebook going viral. Well, I was with one eyelash standing out there in front of the school waiting on the police and the ambulance last week. The staff's supposed to be there, called me every day. I ain't heard from them yet. So the kids are afraid. I also heard that this was the only kid with melanin in the school. I also heard that those twins had been bullying him. We need to teach our little boys to come and talk to us, not when they grown ass 50-some-year-old men. My grandson is trying to handle it himself, and I'm begging him to talk to me. I'm begging him. He done been punched in the face twice. Where's the school? He ain't scared to fight. But when he punch him back, they arrest him too. So going to the staff ain't shit. The news, stop telling me what they say. Because they always report it in your favor. Always. It's always in your favor. And Charles, you can't tell me you got to go do some research to find that out.
And they come after me.
My blood pressure is dead ass high.
They down here talking about Potts don't believe in hope.
Don't take your detox.
The reason why Potts don't believe in hope, because Jesse Jackson was pushing that hope shit back in the 80s. Everybody know that this system is corrupt. Us black, I just was on a live yesterday with some white folks, and they said, I said, let me tell y'all my perspective of America. They got rid of me. I said, see, that's the problem. You don't want to hear the real from black people about our experience in America. Now on TV, you can keep hope alive. That's what Jesse Jackson was telling niggas in the 80s, right, Auntie? You older than me. You 10 years older than me. Keep hope alive. So all Potts is saying is that hope is bullshit. At the end of the motherfucking day, the system is like bleach. How I started my sermon. The system is like bleach. It works for white folks, but it's bad on colors. That's the system. Period.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
And I said that shit.
Diamond talking. Hold on.
And whoever told me to go drink my teas, I drank them every day. I drank 2 last night.
You say your blood pressure was up. You say your blood pressure was up. I told you. I was trying to help you. You say your blood pressure was up. I'm sorry, golly.
Right. Go drink the tea in your blood.
Go suck a dick. Now, come on.
Whoa.
Damn.
Auntie V, I love you, but we gotta watch Diamond's page. Sometimes she gets clipped for some of the stuff we say, so we gotta be careful, okay? I love you, Auntie.
Because I'm tired of arguing with men with nothing to do but sit on the diamond show all day.
Well, I'm
Why?
getting paid while I'm getting paid while I'm
Teachers.
sitting.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Diamond do. Yeah.
Damn it,
Shut up.
man.
You ain't
Well,
arguing with me, but you ain't gonna come
hey,
up
no,
this motherfucker
listen.
thing. You just gonna
Hey,
shut niggas
hold
down.
on.
You Auntie V with that bullshit.
Let me explain. Let me explain something. What Auntie
No,
V
wait.
was saying and what I was
Hold
saying.
on, Kari. Hold on,
But
Kari.
okay,
Let me read this message. Hey, Zodiac here. You know I'm going to say what I need to say. So Charles said, these are my friends, a week or two ago, but knows nothing about Black issues. He's not informed at all on the oppression of Black people in being wrongfully accused of crimes and the adultification of Black boys and girls. Y'all coddle this white man and kiss his ass. Tell him what it is. He is a performative white man who want to be down with Black people. He doesn't care about these issues for real because it doesn't affect his kids or his life. Charles has one foot in Black business and another foot in the white supremacy's ideologies. Stop falling for all these white people coming up saying they love Black people.
Does not mean we hate Charles. We all got opinions just like he do, and we don't agree with him today. Charles will be back here tomorrow. Y'all be starting that bullshit. Nothing.
no. What
Honor.
Zodiac said is right. Hold on. This is the whole thing. Charles say he went and looked at a news report. The news never painted the Black community in any positive light, bro.
It's
And you
called
went and
media.
looked at
It's
a
called
new.
media. It's called
Hold
media.
on, hold on. Let me finish. You went
No,
and
but
looked at a
Corey, name
news
it.
report and
It's
brought
called
your
media
ass.
bias.
Okay,
Media bias is what it is.
you went and looked at a news report this morning, seeing what you seen about this story, and brought your ass up here and gave a mayonnaise news report goddamn view of it. It can't be a self-defense case. That's what you did. This is why I came at you the way I came at you. That's why V came at you. That's why people not agreeing with you. You have not said your true opinion. You leaned on the side of what the news said. Y'all will sit here and tell us we not lawyers, we not judges, we not this, that, and the third. But you went off the people on the news. Most of the people on the news ain't actually lawyers unless you see one that has been a former lawyer or a current lawyer sitting in that position speaking on that. You didn't do that. You just came and say, I seen a news report. You didn't give no source, no nothing. Who said it or whatever. You just came with the opinions of newscasters and you gave us, oh, it's not going to be a self-defense case. And that's the bullshit that I say white people are not for us.
I'll say that he's naive enough to think that the government and the media is fair to everybody. And that's another thing Malcolm X talked about with the white sympathizers. See, they believe that the government is fair and just give the government a chance. But from our Black experience, we're telling you the shit is rigged, been rigged, and gonna stay rigged. Go ahead, Diamond.
1 second. Cash App message says, Boyka is also a token white boy as well. Y'all be safe.
Nah, Boyka is a straight up racist. I don't want to think of other
Corey,
words,
you
but
on one
it
this
is what it
morning.
is. I know.
Corey,
I
Corey,
know.
just leave it
I
there.
can.
Leave it there.
I
Leave
can
it there.
Corey.
respect that he's a racist. I can, but I don't want you to play
Hold
in my
on.
face like
Cash
you're
App
not.
message says, y'all deaf as fuck. Charles said he shouldn't have been
Say
touched.
the only point, yeah, I'm about to drop, so you can have it after me. Only thing I'm disappointed about is Charles said he had to watch the news. I gave Charles all the information on every case I brought out with Cal Rittenhouse, Daniel Penny, George Zimmerman. I gave him the scenarios of what happened, and he said he needed to research. Based on what I just said, he could have gave his opinion, but he chose not to.
Have you
And
played
And
see,
that
when it
Surrender?
comes to us, they vilify the victim. Just like remember the one dude, Diamond, was jogging down the street and the dude and his son pulled up on a pickup truck talking about he was peeking
Ahmaud
in these
Arbery.
unconstructed houses and they
Ahmaud
unalived them.
Arbery.
We always become the villain when we're the victim. That's nothing new. Just like with the Trayvon Martin. I was in Florida 2012 in Orlando when that shit happened. I was down there. They
It was in
instantly
Stanford.
vilified
It
him.
wasn't in
This man
Orlando.
going around signing Skittle packs and shit. Ain't nobody did nothing to George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman got off on self-defense.
He
But it
did
ain't
a
gonna
watch.
work for black folks like that. Unless it
George
was another
Zimmerman.
black folk, he would have a chance. But the fact that it wasn't, that's where the tables turn, is all I'm saying.
TheBlackDiamondShow.com.